Welcome to our tutorial about the Coil tool. Let's begin by creating a line. Right-click and done. Now we need a circle. Let's place it right about here. Right-click and done. Now let's apply some dimensions. We'll make the diameter 1/4 of an inch. OK. And let's dimension the distance to the center point. Make it 1 inch. OK. Let's exit the sketch. Click Finish Sketch. Now let's activate the Coil command. It's on the Create panel of the Model tab. The profile to coil is already pre-selected. Next, we need to select the axis. A preview coil appears. We can choose an upward or downward spiral, as well as the rotation direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. The next tab is where we specify coil size. Under Type, we've got 4 options. Let's start with pitch and revolution. The pitch value, it'll be 1 inch, and I'll use 2 revolutions. We can also specify a taper angle. Let's enter -10 degrees. Now let's go to the Coil Ends tab. Here we can specify the start and end of the coil. Let's take a right view so we can better see what's going on here. Right now, the natural option is pre-selected by default for the start and end of the coil. For the start, let's try a flat. Transition angle, this is the angular distance over which the coil achieves a transition. The flat angle is the angular distance over which the coil is flat. I'm going to change this to 180 degrees. You see how the coil changes. Let's change the flat angle back to 0. Right now we don't have a flat segment of the coil. The transition angle is 90 degrees. That means that the transition of the coil happens between the start to 90 degrees. Let's put the flat angle back to 180 and click OK. OK, let's try another example. I'm going to right-click on this coil and delete it. Let's keep that sketch. We'll uncheck Consume Sketches and Features and click OK. Now let's insert one more sketch. This time it'll be on the XZ plane. Activate the Circle tool. And let's dimension our circle. We'll give it a diameter of 1 3/4 inches. 1.75. OK. And finish the sketch. Now let's activate the Extrude tool. The distance, 3 inches. Select the profile and click OK. Next, I want to use this cylindrical body as a reference in Sketch 1. However, if I simply click Sketch 1, the cylindrical body disappears, so I'm going to drag this feature above Sketch 1. OK, let's try double-clicking on Sketch 1 again. Let's delete this circle. Activate the Rectangle tool. Right-click, Done. Projection Geometry. Let's select this line. Done. Coincident relation. And this point. Right-click, Done. Now let's apply some dimensions. Let's make this dimension 1/8 of an inch, 0.125, OK. And this dimension here will be 1 1/4 inches. OK. Now right-click and Done. Let's right-click and select Slice Graphics. Let's convert this line to a center line and apply the last dimension. It'll be 1 inch. OK. And we see that the sketch is fully constrained. Let's exit the sketch, Finish Sketch. Now we're ready to activate the Coil tool. The profile is already selected. Let's select the axis. Coil size. Under Type, let's try revolution and height now. We'll enter 3 revolutions around a height of 3 inches. Here's our preview. Let's get rid of the taper and go to the Coil Ends tab. For the flat angle, let's enter 90 degrees. The end will be flat, the transition angle also 90 degrees, and the flat angle 90 degrees for the end. Click OK. Uh-oh, looks like we've got a self-intersection problem. Let's click Edit. And let's reduce the flat angle to 30 degrees. OK. And here's our coil. Let's fix one thing here. You can see at the top that the coil is sticking out above the cylindrical surface. We're going to need to reduce the length of that coil, but by how much? Well, let's expand Coil 2 and mouse over Sketch 1. You can see that it's 1/8 of an inch too long. So let's double-click on the coil and go to the Coil Size tab. Let's reduce the height by 1/8 of an inch. We'll enter 2.875 and let's click OK to see those results. Looks perfect. And this concludes our tutorial about building a coil.